couple of days before moving from the town in Texas back to Boston with her mothers, Vicky Sims has a meal with Paul Jenkins at the original Tuscany Tavern. Yes, this is indeed a breakup date. So let me get this straight. You actually want me to start dating Hermine Dawson, the blind girl, after you are gone?
Yes. She is a very sweet girl and deserves to have a boyfriend as loving and loyal as you. Just because she is blind or otherwise disabled doesn't mean she isn't worthy of romance. That's why I had you meet her, Paul. She needs you a lot more than I do.
Alright. But only because you suggested it. Hermine can't replace you. You will always be my first love. And the one I see myself with for decades to come.
It's already 11 p.m. I am tempted to drag Vicky out of there so she can be put to bed.
Jessica, don't do that. This may be the last time Vicky and Paul see each other. And then we will be taking her away from him. You know she will be hurt by that.
I know. And to move forward in our lives, we must make sacrifices. Alright, we are finally done. Let's go. Hi.
And 1 month later, Vicky is in a Boston school.
Good morning, class. I am Lisa Isabel and I will be your math teacher. For this class, we will be doing algebra for the first 3 months and then geometry for the last 3 months. I hope you all do well. Mathematics is the backbone of all sciences and essential for a successful career in general. So let's begin.
You must be a new girl. I am Samir.
Hello. I am Vicky.
Isn't Miss Isabel beautiful? She looks like she could be a supermodel or actress. Yet she chose to be a math teacher. I find that sort of dedication amazing.
Are you flirting with her? If she's that gorgeous, then she must have a boyfriend. Don't waste your time thinking about her as anything other than a teacher.
Hey, Vicky, may I join you?
Sure. Let me move over.
My name is Imelda. I overheard your conversation with Samir earlier. You seem to have a good head on your shoulders. Samir thinks of himself as intellectual, but he's really just a nerd, the sort I'd call an incel.
Yeah, his having a crush on his teacher seems a bit creepy.
You know what's worse? Miss Isabel has in fact had relationships with 2 of her male students. She slept with my brother Peter last year and then he brought his best friend into the picture and she slept with the friend too.
What? Then why is she still teaching?
Because neither boy talked openly about it. I only found out after I swiped Peter's phone and saw the text messages he was swapping for nearly a year with Miss Isabel.
Shouldn't you have reported what was happening to the principal?
It's my desire to know, not tell. I can use what I know against both Peter and Miss Isabel to get my way with them.
Blackmail. This feels just like 7 years ago when Sandy bought the first Tuscany Tavern and the 3 of us set it up.
Yes, but this is the city we were both born in. So even better.
So how will things work here?
Yes, I still am not that great at cooking or customer service, really. Penny, you and Jessica will do most of the cooking. Tara will do all the cleaning, including dishwashing, wiping the tables, sweeping and mopping the floors, and scrubbing the restrooms. I will be the waitress.
Since there are only 4 of us starting out, our hours open will be from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. on Monday through Saturday, with every Sunday off so we can attend church services.
So we will be running this place like it's a Chick-fil-A? Oh, shit, I was afraid someone would bring that up.
Okay. Let's close on Monday instead. We can open on 1 p.m. to 8 p.m. on Sundays. That's good. Mother Lucy, I have a request. Can you hire me to work here part-time as a waitress? I can work 3 or 4 hours a day on evenings after school and a full shift on weekends.
Why the sudden interest in working? I thought you'd be totally focused on school like you were at the town we just came from.
Yeah, about that. I really don't like my new school. There is a math teacher who looks like a supermodel and has a reputation as a slut to match. One of my classmates has a crush on her and may become her next boy toy. And there is a girl who not only knows these things and doesn't care, she even wants to take advantage of the scandal to benefit herself. All 3 of these people creep me out. And that's why I want to drop out of school. I don't feel like I belong there at all. That was quite a bombshell for Vicky to drop on us. That is so unlike her.
I know. And she would be disrupting her own life by quitting school before she can graduate. We thought she would benefit by being back in the city she was born in, but maybe that wasn't the right call. You remember that it took many months for Carrie to get used to that town in Texas, and only because she had Debbie to help her.
Debbie was exactly the sort of sweet, helpful person Carrie needed at such a critical time. No wonder they became so tight with each other. Just as you and I did. Paul, I miss you. I hope you are doing well.
I'm fine. I'm actually with Hermine now, so I can't talk long. Oh, she says hi.
Whoops. I must have interrupted their first date. Hello. I am Vicky Sims.
I'm Renee Chad. Aren't you one of Imelda's friends? I saw you with her yesterday.
I was just getting to know her. I guess you know her well?
Unfortunately, yes. She is the leader of her own gang of tough chicks that most of us are wary of. And if you are not part of her elite circle, you are either beneath her or one of her targets.
I see. So has she ever threatened you?
Do I even look like I could compete with her? I'm hardly the glamorous type. I am a non-binary that is also asexual. You, on the other hand, seem to be both smart and gorgeous. You could either be Imelda's perfect match or her worst nightmare. You must be very careful. She will look for an excuse to take you down if she sees you as competition.
I will keep that in mind.
Thanks for joining me again.
I want to know more about you. I was told you belong to a ruthless gang. But you seem quite nice in some ways.
I guess some of the kids fear me because I don't tolerate their bullshit.
What do you mean?
Well, you already know how I see Samir. And he and Miss Isabel are not the only ones I despise.
Hello, Vicky. May I join you?
Sure, Renee.
It looks like Vicky Sims won't be joining our gang. She is too friendly with queer outcasts like that fat, ugly non-boy Renee.
Her loss. So how should we deal with her instead?
I will try to stay close to her until I can dig up some dirt to use against her. So far, she seems to be squeaky clean, but I'm sure that's just a front, like with everyone else. Give me time.
Imelda, why have you called this meeting of the gang here? I told you before that I was going to try to dig up dirt on Vicky Sims that we could use against her. And I found out a lot. Among other things, she was adopted and her birth mother was a prostitute and drug dealer who is now in prison. Vicky is HIV positive, her adoptive family are a pair of lesbians, and her first boyfriend was also HIV positive. Plus, the Sims family are atheists. And how did you find all this out so quickly? Vicky and her mothers were idiotic enough to post all that information on a blog they make together. They seem to live in their own little fantasy world in which their lifestyles and backgrounds don't matter. Let's see how things go for Vicky when most of the others at her school learn what a screw-up she is. I'm down for that. And when we are done, Vicky's reputation will be ruined. No one else will want to be her friend. Do we have to ruin her life immediately? Why not warn her that we know all about her and threaten her like we have others? Vicky and her lesbian mothers seem to have no shame, so I am eager to humiliate them. Welcome to the Tuscany Tavern. What would you like to order?
This is my first time here, so I will keep it simple. A small pizza with Canadian bacon and a glass of iced tea. My name is Chandra and I am a classmate of Vicky Sims. She has been telling everyone about this wonderful restaurant that serves the best Italian food around. Do you know her?
She is my daughter.
You should be proud of her. I see her every day in science class and she seems as brilliant, if not more so, than our own teacher.
So how is the meal?
Awesome. At least your pizzas are better than Papa John's. I hated when the founder of that company came out as a Trump supporter. I won't buy anything from people like him.
We are nothing like him. Bigotry has no place here.
Another day, another lecture of Julia Rogers, the science teacher at Vicky Sims' school.
Good morning, class. Today, I will be discussing the Earth's atmosphere and how it affects climate change.
Miss Julia is my favorite teacher.
Mine too. But why does she have no hair?
She is a cancer survivor. She underwent chemotherapy to treat her cancer about 5 years ago and lost all her hair. She beat the cancer, but she keeps her head shaved to remind herself of how her life is more precious than her hair.
I like that attitude. Vicky, you are probably wondering why others are avoiding your table today. Have you seen this? So who gave you this paper with all these facts about me? Imelda. She and others in her gang have been handing them out to other kids in the school. So, are all those things claimed about you true? Yes. But why should anyone else care about who my birth mother was or me having the AIDS virus as a child? That's not my fault. I've tried so hard to overcome my past. It should not define who I am now. And as for my lesbian mothers and our being atheists, those don't make us bad people either. Character is not defined by religion or lack thereof, nor does sexual orientation.
Suddenly, one of Imelda's gang members starts to yell at Vicky.
We were the daughter of dykes, product of a prostitute. If you hook up with her, she could give you AIDS.
And now everyone else is staring at Vicky.
What did I do to deserve this? Are you happy now? You broke Vicky's heart.
Well, at least now she will know her place around here. She will never be as popular as I am.
After being humiliated at school by Imelda's gang, Vicky Sims runs away from the school. She doesn't go to her home, however, because the home of her uncle Jonathan in Ontario is closer to the school than that of her mother's, so she goes there first. Who could that be?
I was hoping I could find someone here. I can't talk to my mothers. They are both at the new Tuscany Tavern.
So you were bullied at school?
Yes, but not by violence. There are these girls who target people they don't like by either blackmailing them or spreading terrible rumors about them. Now everyone at the school knows about my criminal birth mother, about me having the AIDS virus years ago, and my adoptive mother's being lesbian and atheist. Now other kids are giving me dirty looks or even threatening me. They even refuse to sit near me in the school cafeteria. This is so unfair. I'm not going to that school again if I have to deal with those people every day.
You need to talk to your mothers about that.
I can't, they are both at work. I already went there once to complain about it. But what can they do? I can't ask one of them to give up her job to babysit me.
When do they get off work?
Not until the restaurant closes.
Well, no reason you can't wait a few hours for them to get off. Meanwhile, why don't you watch over Helen for a bit? Now that someone else is here, I can go out and get a meal for us. What would you like to eat?
How about a pizza? Hey, Helen. It's your cousin Vicky. Uncle Jonathan said you could use a playmate? Sure, cousin Vicky. Let's play Sorry.
Jessica and I already knew Vicky was having problems at the school, but things are getting worse.
I take it she doesn't come home every day crying her eyes out. You really need to do something.
One moment. Jessica, your brother just ordered a pepperoni pizza. And when you make it, take it directly to his house with him.
You mean a delivery?
Yes. He will explain why along the way. He has already paid me for it.
I hope you are not angry at Vicky for ditching school.
No, this sort of crap has happened before, when Carrie was 13 and just getting used to life in the small town we had just moved to. I just never thought we'd see this sort of thing happening again, in Boston. I always thought people in this city were better than over where we lived before.
No, there are bigoted and corrupt people in all parts.
Mother Jessica, I'm so sorry that you had to leave your job early to deal with my problems. I'm such a mess.
Vicky, you can always come to me and Lucy when you are hurting, no matter what. It's our duty as mothers to help you. So what do you want us to do?
Well, excuse me.
Vicky, are you okay? Chandra told me about what happened in the cafeteria.
Yeah. Renee, I don't know how much longer I can go to that school if I have to keep dealing with Imelda and her gang. Everyone else is either afraid of them or siding with them against me.
Well, I have an idea. Maybe we should form a gang of our own. There are actually a lot of people that Imelda has hurt and antagonized. If we all get together, we can put a stop to her bullying and threats.
You know, your classmate may have the right idea. Carrie and Debbie were able to stand up to their bullies by joining together. As long as they put up a united front, they were safer. That's also why Lucy and Debbie's mother Sandy formed the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship in the town, so we could have our own group identity to resist the bigotries of the dominant Baptist culture there.
And you eventually overthrew that culture and changed the town as a result, with Mrs. Smith even becoming its mayor. All right, Renee. When I return to school tomorrow, let's meet with Chandra and see about teaming up. It's about time those bitches got a taste of their own medicine.
After Jessica brought Vicky back to their home, Vicky called her sister Carrie and had a long talk with her.
So that's what's been happening here. Mother Jessica has told me that you and Debbie were persecuted when you were in high school. So why did nothing bad happen to me in that school you two were in?
Mainly because the principal of the school was changed. The one that was in charge when we were having such problems was Jesse Jenkins, and he was a hardcore Christian bigot. In that time, the town was dominated by a powerful Baptist faction led by the Reverend Dave Owen, and Jesse Jenkins and his niece Carla Jenkins, who was the English teacher, were Owen's followers. They claimed that teaching about the Bible and Christianity made people better.
What's so funny?
Principal Jenkins was eventually busted for embezzling school funds and fired from his position. He was replaced by Carlos Hernandez, who has never had any scandal or any acts of abuse associated with him. He is also religious, a Catholic, but he doesn't use his religion as an excuse to discriminate against others who are different. Ironically, it is people who can function publicly like atheists even while following privately a religion who are consistently ethical. Those people who make their religion the basis for their entire lives and careers, even trying to impose their beliefs and standards on others, most often turn out to be hypocrites. Even Carla Jenkins came to realize this, and so she abandoned Christianity later. She actually told me one time that her life would have been many times better had she never been raised in a Baptist faith. It made her spiritually sick.
So do you think I can change things at my current school?
You can certainly try. This will be your chance to show your classmates and teachers about your Unitarian Universalist principles and how they have improved your life. And also how your joining the Sims family made you a better person too. Lesbian mothers and all.
I'm going to respond point by point to all the statements made by Imelda against me, and then I will make copies of my response and hand them out to teachers and classmates.
Vicky spends the entire evening and then the following Saturday working on her essay, and then at the UU church she and her mother's attend she has made over 100 copies of it. And then on the following Monday.
Renee, I have made something for you and others.
So you want to distribute this around the school?
That's right. If Imelda and her gang can try to smear me, it is only fair that we fight back with the rest of the truth about me, my mother's and my religion.
Well, I'm not a Unitarian Universalist, but I am totally supportive of you being one if it makes you such a great person.
Chandra, will you help too?
Yes. I've met one of your mothers too, so I am eager to help. Give me some papers.
My name is Vicky Sims. No doubt many of you have read or heard terrible things about me, so I have written this essay to set the record straight. Yes, I was born to a woman who was a prostitute, and I have no idea who my genetic father is, nor does it matter. I had no choice about this matter. Strictly speaking, there are no illegitimate children, only illegitimate parents. My birth mother made choices to both get hooked on drugs and to become a sex worker to feed her drug habit. She became so obsessed with making as much money as possible that she even allowed pedophiles to rape me after they offered her money to do this. I was also used a lot in child porn. But I was so messed up that I thought this was normal, and it wasn't until I was 7 and my Uncle Brad found out what was happening that he reported it to the authorities, causing his sister to be sent to prison. But my uncle already had 3 kids, and he was impoverished, so I was put in various foster homes. But until I was 12, no one wanted to adopt me, mainly because I had contracted HIV from one of my rapists. Then a couple of lesbians, Lucy and Jessica Sims, came into my life. After learning of my plight, they decided to adopt me. This is why I find it strange that some people are opposed to LGBT people adopting children. Would it have been better for me to still be in foster care? No. With the Sims, I not only gained 2 loving mothers, but also a sister, who is bisexual, a sister-in-law who is also lesbian, and other relatives by adoption who have loved and supported me far more than my birth mother ever did. There is a huge difference between being sexually deviant, like LGBT people are, and being sexually violent like my birth mother and her perverted clients were. In addition to giving me a better life, my mothers introduced me to their religion, Unitarian Universalism. The first principle of this religion is the inherent worth and dignity of all people, including me. Because I was told I was worthy of love, I learned how to love others in turn. And as a result, I now want to be a UU minister so I can help others just as I was helped. Giving spiritual and moral guidance is my calling, and I hope you will support my efforts.
As Vicky and her friends pass out her flyers defending herself, Lucy and Jessica become increasingly worried about their new restaurant.
Lucy, it has been 5 weeks since we opened this restaurant, and we are only able to attract 5 or 6 customers a day. Also, no one else has applied to work here either.
Yes. And it is clear to me why we were able to buy this property for only $50,000. Most restaurants tend to cost over $1 million. This place was also failing under its previous owners. I thought that was due to their incompetence, but clearly I was wrong. We are facing stiff competition from the Olive Garden just down the street from us.
The owners of that restaurant, being associated with a giant corporation, have much deeper pockets than we do, and there is also the advantage of name recognition. If we don't turn things around soon, we will run out of money in another month.
My name is Isaac and I am a Christian. At first, I thought Imelda's attacks on you had merit, but reading your explanation made me realize I was being bigoted. Even in my religion, we are taught that through God's grace even the worst sinner may be redeemed. And it seems you have redeemed yourself already, even if by a different religion. So I apologize. I am on your side now.
Thank you. I have studied your religion and it does have merit, but it's not for me. I believe any real God would only condemn people who knowingly reject God. Most atheists don't do that. They reject the claims of men who say they know God, but really project their own prejudices onto God. That's why we have so many religions in the world. Of course I think you're cute, Samir. And if you agree to be my boyfriend, I will give you higher test scores from now on, regardless of your actual work on them.
That's a fair exchange. Seeing better grades would certainly please my parents. Unknown to them, Vicky is just outside the math classroom and sees them kiss.
I've got to put a stop to this.
So Vicky holds up her cell phone and takes a pic of the pair kissing with the phone's built-in camera. And then Vicky goes to see Principal Irma Jones.
Vicky Sims, you are right to bring this to my attention. There is a reason why relationships between teachers and their students are not tolerated in most schools. That is disruptive to the very process of education that all teachers are supposed to be responsible for. Teachers are not supposed to play favorites and are supposed to represent good moral values so their students can learn to also be responsible citizens from them.
So what will you do now?
I will download the pic you took into my own cell phone. Then I will call Miss Isabel to the office and confront her with the evidence of her unethical behavior.
You should know that according to Imelda Sorkame, Miss Isabel also had sex with her brother and one of his friends last year.
You mean Jason Sorkame and Joshua Lenny? That would explain why they had such high math grades before they graduated, while the rest of their grades were mediocre at best. Let me assure you that you have done a great service to this school by exposing Miss Isabel's illicit activities to me. And as for Imelda, I understand she also has had higher math grades while also otherwise being a poor student. Could she also be sexually involved with Miss Isabel?
No, but she did tell me that she was blackmailing Miss Isabel. Imelda also tried to recruit me into her gang of spies and bullies, but I refused to join with her. So instead she tried to smear me.
Vicky now gives the principal both Imelda's paper attacking her and Vicky's own paper defending herself.
Well, aside from you being a far better writer than Imelda, it's clear you have a much stronger character than most teens. You certainly have nothing to be ashamed of. You overcame a lot of crap to have a better life, and it is clear your lesbian mothers and your religion were big helps in that. Now return to class, Miss Sims. Leave the rest to me. Vicky Sims, you are in deep shit with me.
Oh. And why?
Miss Isabel has been fired as math teacher. Not only that, but the math grades of both me and Samir have been cancelled after a review, and so he and I will not advance with the rest of our class. I'll have to repeat the 11th grade.
Clearly because someone told the principal about you blackmailing Miss Isabel over her affair with your brother, eh?
Right. And there is only one person outside of my gang I told that to. You.
And with that, Imelda yanks Vicky right out of her chair and attacks her. And that causes Vicky to remember a story Carrie had told her.
You think you can insult Almighty God and get away with it?
If there is no God, then no one was insulted. And if he is so almighty, why do you claim to speak for him? Have you even seen God? See, you idiot, even your God cannot hurt me. You have to do it for him. And I can hurt you right back.
If Carrie could fight back at her bullies, so can I. You just made a huge mistake.
What? My mouth is bleeding.
and so the other members of Imelda's gang try to jump on Vicky. But then a dozen other kids jump up to fight on Vicky's side. And so the entire cafeteria erupts into a massive brawl.
You and your gang have tormented us for the last time.
See, you are not so tough when most kids are willing to fight back at you.
After Vicky and her friends and allies beat down Imelda and her gang in the school cafeteria, they literally drag the gang to the principal's office. So Principal Jones calls the police, and then the gang members are arrested for disorderly conduct. Later, Vicky returns from school in triumph.
Vicky, what happened to you?
These black eyes and swollen face are actually battle scars. I and my friends finally faced down the gang that was tormenting us and we beat their asses in public.
Well, I'm proud of you, but even the most battle-hardened warrior needs to be treated for her wounds. Come with me to the bathroom.
Ouch! Careful with that medicine, it stings. It can't be worse than the pounding you got at school. I remember when I had to treat Carrie's wounds at home after she and Laura Park beat the crap out of each other in the girls' restroom at her school. And yet Carrie and Laura are friends now? How did that come about? It's a long story. Laura changed because she realized the life she was living wasn't that of her true self. Gee, I wonder if someday Imelda will change too. I really wanted to be her friend at first, but not at the expense of my integrity. She was bullying me and others and I had to stop her.
What if Imelda and her gang come back with guns and cause a mass shooting?
Well, they were sent to jail, so I hope their parents are not stupid enough to allow those girls access to guns.
The parents of the shooters at Columbine High School never thought their sons would commit mass murder either, but they did. Excuse me. Hello, this is Principal Jones. To whom am I speaking?
I am Jessica Sims.
So you are Vicky's mother?
One of them, yes.
Vicky was just telling me about the fight she and her friends had with a gang of mean girls. Now I am concerned that there will be more violence at your school. That has been my concern too, so I have spoken with the parents of all the gang members that were causing us trouble. I have told them that their daughters have all been expelled from my school and they will have to find other places to get educated. This is to make sure they do not cause more trouble for your daughter.
I'm glad to hear that. But what about Vicky? Will she be punished?
Not at all. It is obvious that she was threatened and provoked, so she will be welcomed back with open arms. Clearly, we needed to clean house, so I think things will be a lot smoother with the girl gang gone. You made it funny. Anyway, thanks for the update. Now, let's put you to bed, hero, and I will serve you some chocolate ice cream. Welcome to the Tuscany Tavern. What would you like to order?
Actually, I am curious as to why you would be trying to operate an Italian restaurant less than half a mile away from another Italian restaurant, one much older and better established. That would severely limit your growth potential.
I am the owner of an Italian restaurant of the same name in a small Texas town, and it was highly successful. I wanted to duplicate that success here in the city I was born in. Unfortunately, we have not done as well as I hoped, certainly not as well as the original restaurant in Texas several years ago.
I see. My name is Charles Harolds, and I am the owner of a dozen restaurants that sell seafood, named the Atlantic Fisheries. I am wanting to expand my business in Boston, and I think this place would be a good location for the next Atlantic fishery to be established. If I make you an offer, would you be willing to sell to me?
So, what is your offer?
$200,000.
Give me a moment.
Lucy then calls Jessica about the offer. And Jessica does not hesitate with a response. Lucy then returns to the restaurant investor.
Mr. Harolds, you have yourself a deal. After tomorrow, this place will be yours.
I'm glad we could come to an agreement. I will allow you 1 week to sell off the remaining Italian food you have stored here before I restock it with the seafood that the Atlantic fisheries normally serve.
Thank you.
And then Lucy puts a huge sign on the restaurant's front door. Over the next week, the second Tuscany Tavern sells off most of its Italian food stores, and what it does not sell it finally gives away to its employees.
So if I choose to continue working here after it becomes an Atlantic fishery, I will have to be retrained to cook seafood.
Sure, but you are a smart and capable young lady. I'm sure you will adapt. Unless you'd rather work at the Olive Garden down the street?
Nope. My grandmother actually hated those places. She said their food was too cheap for her liking. And she did love seafood too. So I will stay here under the new owners. Vicky Sims, I am sad that you will be leaving us soon, but that's only because you were such a delight to have in my science class. I have no doubt that you have an incredible future ahead for you. Thank you. I hope to stay connected to you via Facebook. And that also goes for you too, Renee and Chandra. You made my time here a lot easier.
Likewise, you showed us all how to be courageous and consistently ethical even in the face of serious threats to us. I don't think we will ever allow ourselves to be bullied or blackmailed again.
Vicky and her mother say goodbye to their relatives in Boston and then return to Texas. The house they had put up for sale in the town wasn't bought yet by anyone, so they simply move back into it and take it off the market. Note, to symbolize their return to their earlier lives, Jessica and Lucy will be reverted back to their original character models, the ones pre-built in Plotagon. This will also be true of both Sandy Smith and Carla Jenkins.
Welcome back to my town. I and Debbie have missed you so much. We have missed you too, Sandy. We thought we could just return to the city we came from, but it seems we really belong here in your town. No, our town. It truly hasn't been the same without you two, and especially without Vicky. Paul never stopped talking about her and how much he loved and missed her. For his sake, I hope you never leave us again.
Paul, the time I spent apart from you only made me want you more. Now I know I will marry you someday.
Same. Hermine was pleasant to be with, but like I said before, she is not you. She could never replace you. No one ever can.
Bella Sterling, it seems this place has done quite poorly under your leadership. It has lost a lot of money. How could you mess things up so badly in just 2 months?
I'm sorry, I guess I am just not cut out to be a general manager of a restaurant. So, are you going to fire me?
No. After all, you are having a baby, and it would be a bad look for me to throw a pregnant woman out of employment when she needs money to support her family. But I will be demoting you to only a waitress again. I know you are excellent at taking and serving orders, so you will keep doing that. Jessica will replace you as general manager. I just hope that starting tomorrow we will turn things around here. Now get back to work.